Hi Scorpio, welcome to your weekly reading for January 8th to the 14th. I'm Jennifer, and I'd like to invite you to please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you are interested in checking out your monthly reading, I did upload those at the end of December. So today's reading, I'm using the Colette Baron Reid, The Good Tarot. I also pulled one card from the Medicine Woman Tarot deck, just to give us further insight into the reading, perhaps some advice. And then at the end, I'm going to pull one oracle card for you. So let's jump right in. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess. And this is sort of the overall energies, maybe the underlying, undercurrent theme of your reading, something that you should take note of. And what I'm really getting strongly from this card is really to listen to your intuition and trust your vibes this week. So, beginning with the Queen of Earth, this is the crown of your reading. And the Queen of Earth is basically the mastery over the physical realm. The Queen can represent someone in your life, can also represent an aspect of yourself or something that you should pay attention to regarding something in your physical world, whether it's tending to a project or something that you're trying to manifest either on your own or with others. And to start off with, after that we have the Nine of Air. So perhaps overall, let me just tell you what I'm getting from this here is we've got the Nine of Air, the Queen of Cups, the Star. Then you have the Four of Fire, the Ace of Cups, and the Five of Air. What I'm getting with these, you have basically two kind of negative cards at the beginning and end of this reading here, aside from the Queen of Earth crowning this. Maybe whatever it is that you've been focusing on and you've been trying to manifest in your world, I think you're gonna find perhaps that maybe you just need to hear this. You need to question, are you trying, or is it that whatever it is that you're wishing for, because sometimes the star can indicate hope, healing, inspiration, but also consider it sort of like wishing on a star, right? And maybe you were on a path where you were feeling victimized, okay? And you sort of had this ideas that you wanted to create, you wanted to bring something in. But were you thinking of other people? Because this is the card of conflict and tension. Sometimes what we are wishing for, and we may not do this on purpose, because at the time that we are trying to force something into our reality, we're not really thinking of others, we're thinking of ourselves. And we're not necessarily thinking of how would this affect other people. Like if you try to force something into your world by, trying to master something in terms of like manifesting it into your reality, are you hurting others with this manifestation? Are you really... we don't always know all the influences and the things that are going on for why something in particular isn't being manifested. Now, it seems to me that whether it was you victimizing yourself by negative thinking or trapping yourself with by letting other people sort of tell you how you should live your life, or maybe not directly, but sometimes we don't always listen to like what that real calling is, what it is that we really want, and we let other people influence us, and then we wonder why we feel like this, because maybe we thought we were listening to ourselves. Maybe we thought we were, but as evidenced by what manifests, maybe not. Or maybe you manifest something that you thought you wanted, and it turns out that it didn't bring you the fulfillment that you thought it would. So now, with the two queens here as well, queens don't necessarily have to be just women. It could be a relationship. Perhaps you're in a relationship with someone, and perhaps something new is being manifested in this relationship, or you're going to meet someone new in your life. I mean, with the Star and the Ace of Cups here, whatever this conflict is, it can be dealt with. It can be healed. And it seems like perhaps it was friends, you know, because we have the Four of Wands here right under the Nine of Air. Maybe there are people in your life that you thought you were celebrating with, or maybe those relationships are healing, or it could be going the other way. Maybe what you thought wasn't really what the reality is. I'm just looking here. Now, with the Queen of Cups here and the High Priestess and the Ace of Water, you're either really getting in tune with your intuition, or you're being asked to. And as a Scorpio, I imagine that you're probably a fairly intuitive person, but are you trusting yourself? You know, perhaps there's some kind of conflict within you between your material life and your emotional life. And you're being called to a new beginning. And perhaps this is stirring up conflict for you within. Now the Star also, it represents something like far off. So this could be a long-term kind of a goal. A real long, or perhaps a long-term relationship. Perhaps that you're in, or that you are manifesting into your world. Maybe it's with an earth sign. But again, it doesn't have to be. But the way through this conflict here, because this totem of balls came up as the further insight and sort of clarity of your reading. And what this card talks about is, first of all, it represents the Knight of Cups in the traditional tarot. So it's a messenger. And it's probably you bringing a message through. Or you could be the recipient of a message. And because it's a cup, which you have some cups here already, a message of love, but also it speaks of truth. And this card also speaks to being persistent and patient, as well as, like the dolphins, more playful, a little bit more carefree. You know, more like sort of the antithesis of this Nine of Air energy, where it's like being stuck in your head, staying up at night. And also this card is kind of saying, like, take the blinders off. You know, see things more clearly with whatever this is. Now, the Four of Wands, this usually talks about, like, celebrations. It talks about foundations within your relationships. And it coming up with the Nine of Air, perhaps you haven't been seeing things clearly in your relationships. And that you should really start trusting your vibes more and start trusting your intuition more. And as I was shuffling for you, I did see the Temperance card pop out a few times, and I'm surprised it didn't come out. And that card is called Patience. And I think that's important for you this week, is to have patience. And the Queen of Earth is certainly a patient energy, right? Because she'll plant her seeds, and she knows that as long as her seeds are tended to with water, right? And she nurtures her seeds. And there's the sun here. The light. Perhaps, getting out of this, seeing with clarity. I think patience is an important word for you this week. Be patient. And take the blinders off. And don't be afraid of this conflict. Maybe there's something that you need. Maybe you need to speak up. And the cards might be saying, say whatever it is that you need to say. But do it in a way that is loving and gentle. But that this conflict probably can't be avoided. There's conflict that probably can't be avoided. So let's pull one card from the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle. Let's do this one card. One card for Scorpio. One card for Scorpio. Okay, well, we got two cards. Okay. So let's see, we got White Mulberry and Baobab. So this talks about harmony. I will send you spiritual and emotional nourishment. This will guide you into creating a stronger and more harmonious connection with others and enrich your understanding of their motives as well as your own. So I think sorry, I can't speak today. I think I mentioned that, like, knowing, like, what were your motives in whatever it is that you were manifesting here. Maybe you weren't aware of the people that may have been affected by whatever it is that you were trying to bring it out and manifest. And this card can talk about motives. And sometimes, like, it's a conflict of ideas. For the most part. So the advice of this card: find the connections between you and the people and animals with whom you share your life. Do your best to create harmony with them and to empathize with them even when their behavior perplexes you. Okay? And for... I don't know if I'm saying that right. Baobab. This is a card of survival. I am known as the Tree of Life because I can help people to survive the harshest living conditions. Whenever you call on me, I will give you emotional strength and spiritual sustenance so that you can cope with whatever life brings you. The message this card brings is: have faith in the universe's ability to provide you with exactly what you need whenever you need it, and to offer you spiritual protection. Use your resources and talents to get the most out of every day. So, obviously we have the star here. It talks about the universe bringing what you need. And perhaps this conflict is needed. Maybe you need to be open to seeing other people's ideas. And, just because you're a water sign. You're very connected to your emotions. You're very comfortable in your emotions. And Scorpio is, you're kind of like a tough sign. You have your I mean, you are guided, your symbol is a scorpion. So, you know, people shouldn't have to walk around on eggshells with you so that they don't get bit by your scorpion tail, because your emotions are, you're not feeling centered in your emotions. You know, and maybe that's, instead of blaming other people for why you don't feel centered, you know, why don't you look and see, like, where are you coming from? Why you feel so victimized? Why are you blaming other people for feeling victimized? Don't blame others for your situation. You know, sometimes, I'm not saying that there are no victims, because I know that there are victims. I know that. There are victims in the world. Are you the victim, or are you victimizing others? That's what you need to ask yourself. Whether or not you may have realized what you were doing because you were so caught up in your emotions, because I don't read these cards upside down and I just kind of let the message come through with. So I say that because, you know, just because the Ace of Cups is here in the upright position doesn't necessarily mean that it's all good. Okay? Because you do have two very negative cards here. And I'm not saying that things are going to turn out bad. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, you're some awful person or something like that. But that you need to question your motives and realize that, you know, what other people think and how other people feel matters. You know, maybe you're not really taking, because this is a card of, like, friendships, right? And the foundation of those friendships. Because fours represent, like, building upon. And maybe with the Five of Swords here and the Ace of Cups, maybe you're not taking other people's emotions into consideration because you feel your own so strongly. But that doesn't mean that you know, you're the only one, you know, you're the center of the universe. And I'm not saying that all Scorpios are like that, and it could be that a Scorpio is dealing with somebody who is like that in their life. I'm just reading what the cards are saying, okay? And what I'm getting from this reading. So overall, I mean, if you know, survival is like, to me, when we talk about survival, it's about, what do you need? You know, are you taking more than what you need? Are you expecting to manifest more than really what you need? Are you taking other people's needs into account? And when we see this here with talking about harmony and the yin and the yang, you know, it's asking you to think of others. You know, think of others, whether, and if it's you that feels you haven't been considered, then you need to create this you need to say something about it. Okay? Because it can go either way. It depends on who's receiving this message and what your situation is. Okay? So, overall, I think that, yes, there's a little bit of negativity here. It could be coming from your own mind. It could be that you have been a victim in the past. It could be that you have victimized someone, perhaps unknowingly, perhaps knowingly. And that, you know, whatever this is, whether you were listening too much to what others expect of you or letting them sort of like tell you how to live your life, and then you end up unhappy and miserable because of it, you know, it's this card really asks you to see with more clarity and to sort of take the blindfold off and to face up to whatever it is you need to face up to. And that you can't shy away from this conflict. And I don't really see that as an issue for Scorpio. I mean, of course, it depends on the situation. Let me just see what else I see here. And this could be just like minor. This could also be like little, for some of you, maybe it's just little arguments, petty arguments with the people that you're in a relation with your lover or your spouse or your friends or your family. And overall, the message is to be patient and be persistent with love and speak your truth and know where it is that you're coming from. You know, make sure that you really know where you're coming from and be comfortable expressing yourself in a gentle way. And that to consider other people's feelings as well, you know? Or if you're the one who feels that your feelings aren't being considered, to speak up for yourself. Okay, so that's all I have for you today, Scorpio. I hope this message somehow gives you insight or help or healing into your life. And once again, if this video helped you in some way, please give it a thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thanks. Bye-bye.